Okay.
Jim's in. Okay, we set to go, everyone?
It's at 9
8
o'clock.
o'clock. 9 o'clock. We all set to go?
Good.
Okay, let's start off with the pledge. I ask Bill McDonald to lead us to the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Sure. Mr. Bono?
Here.
Mr. Albrecht? Mr. Cruz? Rano?
Yep.
Mrs. Ricky? Here. Mr. Warren's here. Correct.
This is Blue. I can repeat her.
Do we have court?
Quorum's present. John, read the mission statement.
Sure. The Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency delivers economic incentives to businesses and industry to diversify and strengthen Herkimer County's tax base and enhance community vitality by supporting home creation, business and industrial development, and community revitalization. We strive to develop the local economy in an organized, sustainable, and environmental beneficial manner.
Thanks, John. Minutes have been sent to you for the July 7th meeting. On pages 1 through 5. Any additions, corrections, deletions, etc., etc. Nothing. I'll entertain a motion to accept. Mike Wernzak, second by Kate Rickey. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Minutes will carry. Number 5 is the June financial reports. They're on pages 6 through 11. We have financial reports, balance sheets there, and check register, revolving loan status. John, you want to give us an update?
Sure. Everybody's up to date on all of their payments from either the IRP loan or any of the 222 loans and grants that we have out there at this time. We've taken a little bit of a hit because we haven't closed on a few projects. We're putting out a little bit more to help get these parks up and going, and some of the other purchases we made and some of the other studies that we've had to do. But what you'll see is either in the end of August, or I'm sorry, the end of August, 1st of September, we'll be closing with Nudidec. We have some information on that further down on our agenda today, but that'll give us a nice add to our bottom line. That'll help support other projects going forward as well.
Any questions for John?
Just one other, I have some park expansion numbers for Schuyler and Frankfurt. The Russell Farm I figure that maybe I'll do those when we get to those individual parks and start having discussions on those. Is that okay, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely.
Great, thanks.
Okay, entertain a motion to accept financials. Kate Rickey, second. Gasparano, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Carried. Item number 6 is Feldmeyer Equipment. We have Kevin McCullough here. He's the counsel for Park Lane and Damon for Feldmeyer. They're planning an expansion. And John, how you want Kevin to?
Well, what I think I'd like to do is just talk a little background first, and then we'll get into Kevin, and then we'll go through some of the other things that we're doing. Here, take a chair right there. So it's been about 2.5, 3 years since we first started looking at the Feldmeyer expansion project. There was a lot of different things involved with Feldmeyer. One of them being the fact that if they built a new structure, would they maintain their current facility on Mill Street or shut that down and just move all the employees over to Riverside? Now with the way that the project has come forward, it appears as though it'll be kept open on Mill Street, which we were already starting to look at opportunities to make sure we covered everything on Mill Street. And just with and there's been a little change in the size of the scope. It was originally about an 89,000 square foot expansion. It's around in the 60,000, which is still a great size for down there on Riverside. Where if any of you have had a chance to get down there, it didn't change the overall price of the project, just the size of it. We all know where materials and everything are today. But it's been something that they received a CFA on in the past to move ahead with that. A nice, I think it was $2.7 million CFA. We're looking to support the project, and we'll talk about some of those items in a little bit. But I think it's important that we had Kevin in from Barclay Damon to talk to us about the project, and then we can move from there. All right, thank you, Kevin.
Members of the board, thank you. It's nice to be here. As I said to John, I usually come here in the winter time. It's freezing. It's just a nice warm place to inside from. Plus if we come down here in the summertime. So as John put forth a background, and there's been a lot of discussion about, do we close Mill Street and look for an adaptive reuse of that building and move everybody over to this facility? And it was determined that because of the job market, we really kept Mill Street going. And this project is a revitalization, modification of the existing structure, and then an expansion. The expansion is going to be about 71,000 square feet. And unlike the existing relationship, so I should point out that ultimately Tony and I will work together on it, but this probably is a modification of the existing relationship because we have a lease back and a pilot in place now on one tax parcel. But now, because of the expansion of this building toward the riverside, we need to go on to the adjoining parcel as well for drainage, parking, etc. So the first thing is this is now going to encompass 2 different tax parcels, not just one. All the expansion is just a long rectangle on the river side of the building. But parking now and storm retention, etc., gets moved to the east onto the adjoining parcel. A lot of this project, so if you look at the application, you see that altogether, this is over a $13 million project, but only 5.5 of it is building expansion itself. The balance of it is automation, equipment, modification of the existing structure to maintain that automation in there. We've looked at where to expand. I mean, Feldmeyer has a major presence in Syracuse. It has 2 facilities here. And this is an odd application in a sense. We're spending $13 million and not promising to create any additional jobs. We would love to create additional jobs, but have not been able to secure employment down here. So at the moment, this is a job retention of the 17 existing jobs at an average of 46,000 something per year. An expenditure of $13 million, 71,000 square foot expansion. And we will be happy if our employee count increases down here over the year. But it's a real commitment to stay here, not move these operations to Syracuse. Because as you know, when you're dealing with automation, that can be anywhere.
Well, we had several meetings with Colby, who's the president. now.
Correct.
And one thing is, well, I'll be honest with you, and I know it's a fact, we're a hell of a lot easier to deal with than DeWitt. And we know that, and that was one of the things that I pushed with Colby is, we want to work with you down here in Herkimer County. And the town of DeWitt is not an easy guy to work with, or group to work with, so we're excited about that. We're excited to help them any way that we can. Feldmeyer's been a strong business in this community for, over a century. And we think that there's still some great opportunity there for everyone.
Well, I think, John, you make a good point, because the city of Little Falls has a special zoning district for the waterfront riverside area. But exempted from it is this particular road. So the city has made it easy to work with them and haven't put onerous requirements on this structure.
Yeah.
We really only need one special permit here, and that's from DEC because of our proximity to the river. Part of this new facility will be in a 100-year flood zone, not in the floodplain itself, so we won't be obstructing the river flow. We're above that, but we need a special permit to build within the 100-year flood zone proximate to the river. And then ultimately, all stormwater retention will be on site in a series of ponds with the overflow to that to the river if necessary.
Well, the good thing is you have the utilities there and the infrastructure, so you don't have to worry about tying into the sewer. It's all there, and that really does help near the river.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
we were excited about the expansion in the beginning, and plus, to be honest, a little excited about what we could do with Mill Street. And but we're glad to see them staying and growing. There's some good warehousing there for them and some other manufacturing. If any of you've seen the Mill Street building, it's multiple floors, so it's not really conducive for the type of manufacturing that they do. But right now it seems to be working, so that's a good thing.
Right. So from an environmental perspective, we provided a short form EAF. There were very few issues here. We're basically building out the back of the building, modifying all the drainage, the parking, entrance roads, etc., in and out of the facility. There have been preliminary discussions with the codes office of the city of Little Falls, and I don't think they have any problem with the plans.
Phil Green is excellent to work with.
So we've got, good contractor, Hayner Hoyt. We've got a good engineering firm, and don't anticipate any problems. This will be completed sometime in 2022. And obviously, the plan is to have the modification and new construction interfere as little as humanly possible with the ongoing operation. We're doing this because Feldmeyer has a great booming business and needs to maintain full manufacturing capacity at the existing plant. Be glad to entertain any questions.
You mentioned 17, John. How many total Feldmeyer in our area do you?
Well, I think Feldmeyer has 160 employees
Yeah.
altogether, and they move back and forth, because it's not that the processes that are undertaken here are not the same as in Syracuse. There are different machines, there are different things, but everybody is doing the same general function, and that is building these, quite frankly, gorgeous stainless steel tanks.
In Syracuse, which we've seen too, they do more exotic materials too in their tanks there, which we don't do down here.
Yeah.
So it's a more of a special welder and some more, you have to have a little bit more of a skill set, but it's still a tank.
Yeah.
But, we did, I think when we were there, they were doing some Inconel ones for some high chemicals that couldn't even be supported in basic stainless. So there was, I think it's a good fit to keep them there, and I think it's a good fit with the trained force that they have. And to only have to go down the street, a lot of their workers are supported by the bus or bicycle or walking to work. So it's key that we keep it there.
Yeah, I've been by the facility out there in Syracuse. It's a nice looking facility. Hopefully the new one will be as good looking and,
Right.
Well, it's what, the fourth hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very disappointing to us golfers. That's the second course. The second course in Syracuse. The first one, or the second one now is where Amazon's going out there.
Correct.
So
That sucked up an entire course.
Yeah.
Forget about a hole or a
Yeah.
fairway.
What sector, just out of curiosity, in case I'm on Jeopardy or something, but what sector do they build for? Is it the medical field?
Oh,
mainly, or
it's,
just all over the board?
It's a complete gamut. Breweries, Ultra Dairy, if you pass Ultra Dairy going into Syracuse on 481, all those tall stainless steel tanks. Medical,
Coffee.
everything, really. Anybody who needs some exotic or stainless steel tank to store a material in.
Good.
And ship all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, that, I think actually some of the hardest projects we've had for Feldmeyer are working with shipping companies to get permits. And then invariably, as we all know, nothing goes right on any project. It's the 6:30 a.m. call. The truck is somewhere on a country road in Pennsylvania and no one had on Google Earth this bridge, which is now in front of them. And now what do we do?
Oh, canal, do they do anything in canal?
Shipping on the canal.
Talked about it. I don't think, we looked at it. I don't remember that we ever actually had any shipped on the canal.
They had a competitor did.
Yeah.
But the problem is he shut it down again for another month. What does that do to your business? You can't deliver.
And as we know, with the storms that we've had over the last 5 years and the washouts in certain areas, you can't, and then the delivery requirements, I mean, we're dealing with end manufacturers, so they need this thing at a certain time.
Because it's part of their construction.
Yeah, you can't go on an unreliable system where somebody forgot to close a gate and the canal lock washes out. I've had a lot to do with the canal club. I'm not sure I would. Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Kevin?
Where are we the DEC permitting process?
We expect to have it within just a couple weeks.
Okay, so you're ready to
Yeah.
move this quickly.
Did the
Correct.
city move ahead the seeker? They're the lead agency, I'm assuming.
I don't know that they're functioning as lead agency because the issuance of a building permit. What's sort of odd here is, and I haven't been directly involved in it, John, but it seems to me that they aren't handling what I would call a customary site plan approval. And maybe because it's in this park. The original discussion was that site plan modification was not something that had to go to a planning board. And that it was just being done at a ministerial level. So
It's constant, existing zoning, it conforms.
Right.
They're not allowed to override.
exactly, and,
So we don't have to worry about the seeker.
I gotta look at it, but we may not. We may not, maybe in good shape.
I mean, I provided you a short form EAF because, and let me tell you why I don't think that the city is doing it. Because this was created for your agency, they didn't already have one in the can ancillary to the building permit application. So the information I have is that there isn't a site plan process that's required in this park.
Because that's the industrial part.
Because it's the industrial park, exactly, and that all you needed to demonstrate was compliance with the building code and things of that nature.
In DEC.
Indeed, those sorts of ministerial things, as opposed to a discretionary review of a site plan.
Yeah, really, I mean. All right.
Details are left.
I mean, what we can do between now and the next meeting is determine what, if any, secret resolution you would need to handle. But that's why we provided you a short form EAF.
Okay.
I don't think that there are any issues in it, you know.
Well, the thing is, we are gonna schedule a public hearing today too. And, or move to set a public hearing and then we'll schedule it when we'll work with the city. We already met with the mayor and he has no problem. We like to do it right in the taxing jurisdiction now anyways. Not that anyone ever attends, but, you know. But I think, you know, after communication with everybody, I'm pretty sure we'll be okay. And you're looking for us to induce today too, because you're ready for the ST60 for the contractor.
That's correct.
But you have to wait still till you hear back from the DEC before they move ahead.
That's correct.
Has the material been ordered, the metal?
I think the steel has been ordered, you know, steel is so far behind.
Yeah.
Right, right.
What if we contingent this on him moving some of the brewery down there? technology in here. It's been quite frustrating for me.
They texted me, I don't know why they texted me.
Telling you that it's not working.
We're all good.
Are we on now?
Yep.
Okay. The second item, the inducement resolution, any discussion? I need a motion to accept. Kate Ricky, second. Mike Renzak, discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Carried. And then we need to set a public hearing. I need a motion to, and when would that be, John?
We're gonna have to coordinate with the city, so, but we would just like you to approve that we set the public hearing and we'll get the dates out. to you.
Okay, second by John Sperano, discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
Public hearings from now on will be held at the communities which they're in. During COVID, we did it here with the Zoom, but now we're gonna go back to that way. This one, we wanna move quicker, so we won't have a meeting there, but in the past, we've had some of our meetings at those locations. So depending upon when we have some other ones, we might move our meetings around a little, so. Kevin, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we don't expect you to stay, but I mean, we've only got probably about 2 hours left. You're more than welcome.
I looked at the rest of that agenda. I said, where's lunch?
Well, when Kobe's picking this up, you might as, we'll tell him you were here anyway.
Right, yeah.
Thank you very much. for
No,
coming
thank you,
down.
appreciate it.
And then you and Tony we're gonna talk about the pilot, right, Joan?
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is get an inducement agreement out with a template pilot, because I'm seeing amending with 2 schedules because of the existing and then a 10-year on the new construction, but yeah, but you've probably done it before. So we can get through that.
The existing pilot only has 3 years left.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. How about industrial bonding? Are you guys looking to do that too? We'd love to do some New York State bonding with you.
Well, I think not. Feldmeyer has before done bonds. And somebody made the mistake of doing a small bond issue, which has a limit of how many years prior of your spending and post. And they never bothered to do that calculation, and we were about 6 months into the maturity of the bonds, and we blew the spending cap. So we had to reverse the bond issue and make it not a small bond issue.
Oh, wow.
Because that immediately renders everything taxable with
Sure.
penalties, et cetera. So I think Colby for the moment is going to stick with conventional
That's
finance,
fine.
stay away from bonds.
Now, these 17 people you mentioned as well, if you didn't do the expansion, would those people still have a job?
Now,
So what are we looking at CDBG grants then for that? Because we can do up to 15,000 per employee. We'd be happy to help you with that as
we'll
well.
take a look at that. I forgot to mention, you did mention earlier the CFA from the state.
Yeah.
We're modifying the CFA down from its
That's fine.
original amount
Yeah.
because it was tied to different sets of numbers.
Yeah.
Which are not achievable or don't make any sense now. So we're working with Empire State Development Corp.
Anything you need from us, we'll be
Modify
happy to
that
support. too.
CFA.
Okay. But think about the CDBG,
I will.
because if they're not gonna move and it doesn't go through, then you're up to 15,000 per those retained employees.
Right.
So I mean, that's a
Right.
nice little dollar amount there for you guys too, to help out. We're
Right.
happy to assist with that paperwork.
We're
We're at
happy
the
to find
county, we'd
money
be happy
anywhere.
to do that. Yeah. So,
Great.
we want to see this move ahead, and I think you can tell by the board, everybody
Yeah.
wants that.
Well, appreciate it very much. We're going. It'd be great to work with Tony again in his office. Very, very efficient group to work with.
He doesn't get raises, he's on a retainer, so. But that's
Oh,
okay.
I thought I got 30% of the difference.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you
all
all very much.
Appreciate
Safe
it.
travels, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Bye-bye.
We're gonna deviate a little bit from our agenda. We got a big 25 plus item here, but we're gonna go to the number 19 Quackenbush. As you know, we had a lengthy discussion last meeting, executive session. We're gonna move forward with that. And John, you want to give us the background and what's gonna happen here?
Yeah.
Our attorneys have been involved on both sides and come to an agreement. And hopefully we can
Trying to find
settle this
my,
today. Get all this time.
I have it here, I just have a lot of it. 29 items on the agenda. I didn't know
Been
you were,
working
I
on
didn't know
this.
you were moving this.
We've been working on this a long time and
The one paragraph that I wanted to read number on the front page of the resolution. Yep. Thank you. I'll get this right back to you. So after communicating with Chuck Malcolm, here is the authorizing resolution for the quick claim deed to the company's name is going to be HMQ 1890 LLC. Whereas the Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency is authorized to empower the provisions of chapters 1030 of 1969 laws of New York, consisting Title I, Article 18A, the General Municipal Law, Chapter 24 of Consolidated Laws of New York, as enabling act in Chapter 410 of the 1970 and Chapter 158 of 1981 Laws of New York, amend the section which allows us to promote, develop, and encourage and acquiring, constructing, reconstructing, improving, maintaining, equipping and furnishing industrial, manufacturing, warehouse, and commercial space. The resolution issuing a negative declaration and authorizing the sale of certain real property located in Herkimer, New York, and execution by the Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency of certain documents in connection with such a sale. So that would be the resolution which they'll have in order to support the turn off of the, or the handoff of the property or the quitclaim deed to HMQ 1890 LLC.
Comments, questions? Need a motion. This was through advice of council. So move forward with it. Mike Wernzak, second. Kate Ricky, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? Carried. We can,
Yep, so right now what we have, Scott, do you have a driver's license with you?
Yes.
You can go with Stacy and John Stevens into our office. We'll have you sign the documents. We'll make a copy of your ID. She's a notary. And we will give you a copy and then we'll go file it today.
Thank you.
Okay?
give them a screwdriver. That's all we have for keys.
No, we have keys. Stand whatever.
Okay, so there you go. All right, so thanks, Stace. John.
So by the way, thank you very much. And by the way, just so you're aware, we will be filling out the forms that you sent. Once we get in there and look at it, it's the same thing with Masonic and I'll be able
Well,
to.
we'll give you time when you
So we
send it in.
appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Have a good morning.
Item number 7. Metro Enterprise Branch, Bill Pass Brewing, pages 33 to 40. There's a application there for a project of about 16.5. Want to put a commercial kitchen in. It was looked at by the loan committee, correct? And approved. So any comments, questions?
Hill Path Brewery is a brewery located in the Frankfurt Marina. They've been there now, I think, a little over 2 years. Jeff Kinville, retired National Grid guy. It's all his own money. He's been doing real well with it. You know, he sells those things to go. I can't think of what those things. Yeah, sure, those two. And you know, has a great little place over there. So we're excited to see him grow and move on with that. So
Need a motion to accept. Scarano, second. Wernzak.
I approve anything.
Stacy's
you
not.
no, Victoria has everything. Victoria does.
Yeah.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Carried.
Nope, she has to do update.
I'm getting there.
So this will be our final approved application for the micro enterprise. I'm very excited to say that we have exceeded our goal for adding employees through the program as what was outlined in the application. I'm still working with the businesses that have been approved to get their job reporting forms in, and I will still have to do reporting to the state. But this company will get the remainder of funds, which is about $12,000. So we have been having conversations with the state and we are able to reapply. So we're looking to apply for another grant, just like this one in September.
How long have we had the grant?
December of 2019.
2019.
But we
Okay.
didn't start rolling it out until about March.
Well, then with COVID, I'm sure things were a little,
So to still meet the job with COVID. it's phenomenal.
yeah.
We've talked to the state about other things, and Victoria has really run with this project. We haven't, we've out surpassed many of other counties that got these grants as well. So that's why they're eager to get us on board for another one. We think it's important and it's a good time. We need a little bit of time to catch up, and that's why probably September timeframe, we'll be working with the county to reapply for that again. But it's been excellent working with the Small Business Development Center as well, setting up the trainings. So we're excited to continue this on. This was our first one, and we really have taken off with it. So it's a good thing for the entire county.
Victoria, good job. Let's go to number 8, the sewer revolving loan fund update.
So we have just over $10,000 in the sewer fund. I am waiting for some documents from about 4 businesses to get those rolling. So that with that fund being revolving, funds go in and, we can help the businesses as they come in. So send people my information and we'll get some more applications going.
This grant was 25 started by Assemblyman Butler, then 50 by Seward. It's the gift that keeps on giving for our county. I mean, it's well over 600,000 back into the economy through these grants of 222. I mean, some of the projects we're involved with are a lot more than $6,000, but this way we can help them with that. So we're very excited to continue that on as well. Thank you, Victoria.
Item number 9, USDA IRP loan. John, you wanna?
Sure. We met with the USDA a couple of years ago when we first found out that we have one loan outstanding. And one of the things they stressed is if that individual group doesn't pay off on that loan, it's the responsibility of the IDA. So we've been working closely with the group that does do that, the company that does have that loan. But now we feel as though with some of the other income that we have coming in from some different parks and different programs and administrative fees, then we might want to pay this off now. We would still collect the fees and not have to deal with the USDA on this. How much roughly is left?
154,322.
Yeah, so we.
That was pretty good rough estimate.
Yeah, she's good at the rough stuff. She knows the numbers. So I think that it would behoove us to pay it off. That way, we do have money left in an account, about $80,000, right? To pay that part of it back, and then we would pay the remainder of it. The $80,000 we've had set aside, because they only demand about 21 or 22,000 a year to pay that down. 20,000. So I think it would be best to pay that off. It's a small amount of interest, but then it clears us of anything down the road when we might have to worry about it.
Anyone else? For comments, questions? Makes sense. Okay, I need a motion to accept that. Brown, second. Gabriel, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Yes. Number 10, Country Mile Road dedication. We're making, finally, after 15 years, we're gonna get rid of this, well, not get rid of, but we're gonna dedicate the road to the town of Frankfurt. They're willing to accept it. We made some improvements along the way at their request. And I think it's time to transfer that road over legally. So John, any other?
Yeah, just a couple things. One is, they did come in and Sioux code it, which was the last step. We did ditch it. They're very happy with everything. We work very well with the town of Frankfurt. I appreciate everything they're working with us on. It's been we have more projects happening in the town, so we're excited to continue to work with them. The issue and the main issue that we've seen in the past, more so in the past 6 months than any other time, is the trucks not going to Country Mile Road. They see country and they hit there, and they go near Jimmy's Parks. They go inside the village of Frankfurt, all in areas that these trucks can't turn around. If you drive on Route 5S heading towards Frankfurt, there's a new sign up that says distribution park, one more exit. you know, but it's still not working out. I talked with the town, I've talked with quite a few residents that have approached me. Which I don't have, I understand what their issues are. Jimmy's been approached a lot. I think we might have to reach out somehow and get that name changed. I think that I'm gonna meet with the town tomorrow night on several issues. And I think that's might be the next discussion we have. Wayne Evans, who's the facility director over there, went out with a team and replaced some lawns and some different things. But it totally depends on where you are out with this, or if you have any opinions, I'd like to hear them. But I think really to make the best improvement and stop the tractor trailers, because they're not looking. They see country and they hit yes. They don't see the other two country names that are listed in there as well.
Which, you want to change the one in the industrial park, I mean, would it be easier to change the other now?
No, those are residents that have been there forever. Yeah.
I own a private road called
Right.
Country Meadows.
Right.
The village or the town of Franklin, there's one called Country
Lane.
View, Country View.
Country View.
And they took out a mailbox at Country View. Yeah, they've taken out my sign. We own a cul-de-sac and they've ripped up the lawn a dozen times. Huh? Well, it's easier for them to change the name being.
I
but
noticed
even-
just yesterday there are Tractor Supply signs or Tractors Supply all over the valley.
It doesn't help because they don't hit Tractor Supply, they hit Country.
Oh.
And like John says, and I've even gone to Google, there's different GPSs, there's Garmin and all that, but if you go on Google Maps, I lodged the complaint and it seemed to have lessened the problem. But now I notice a lot of the trucks coming down from my road, they go up Kate's Way, way up in the back road. They end up in Dutchtown Road and all the way down, they've taken down wires. And so you can lodge a complaint until that database gets updated. It'll take a while.
So I'm not really looking for a vote or a resolution. I'm just letting you know I have a meeting tomorrow night with the town. We're gonna discuss a name change and then we'll go to Tractor Supply and talk to them. Whether they want to call it Tractor Supply Country Mile, because tractor would be great. There's no other tractors.
Right.
But these guys just want to push the first button they see and they're in the middle of everybody's yard.
But it'll affect 4 businesses. They have to change their addresses on all the documents and so there's those
That makes
other
sense.
4 in there, the 3 anyway. So, okay.
I don't think
John's
that'll
gonna
be,
work on that.
I
I
think
don't-
the other trucks get lost as well. And I talked to ADK and they said they've had some guys not going to where they should have gone because of it too.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so that's.
so we need a motion to dedicate the road. We need a resolution. We never did one. I thought we did one.
It's John, it's been so long and we've done this so many times, I don't remember.
Oh, we do
Make
water.
another one and
We do it in steps,
Oh,
water,
You know, the
sewer,
plow now,
road.
I take.
Well, they've always plowed out. They've always been good to us. That's just it. And they, when there was flooding, they went in there and they put up cone. They're always worried about us. They're good people. It's just that they got to make sure that they're taking care of their taxpayers. And after the soup coat, we're done.
Need a motion to dedicate John and Kate. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Carried. Item 11, IDA donations. What's up with this?
Yeah, so we have a property that we purchased and there's some things I'm trying to work out right now with SHPO and different things because of the historic nature of the property. And one of the lines in there was, would you be willing to make a donation to your local historic society if you do remove the buildings and the barns and that? We never really give donations. I don't know what the rules are. We're gonna dig into that, but I had to make you aware of that's what SHPO does. If you're selling the product, if we're selling the house and the barns to, instead of demolition, that could we make some type of donation to those, to the historic society? And they're not holding us hostage. We're working to get everything being able to be removed in the right way. But we don't really have a donation plan. I don't know if the IDAs are allowed to do donations. We know we can't do grants and we know we can't do loans. We can sponsor things, we can buy sponsorships, we can do that. Maybe we have to reach out to the Historic Society. What do you have going on? Maybe we sponsor 50 bricks, I don't know. But we're gonna have to come up with something. And you look very perplexed right now.
Why is this? Who says this is a historic property?
the SHPO, New York State Parks and Recreation
Okay.
Historic
And what's their
Preservation.
basis on it?
The structure of the building, the time it was built, and the architect that's been there.
Who famous was born there? I mean, I guess there's,
See, but your thoughts are way different than what the rules actually are. See, there's rules and then there's other thoughts. I have other thoughts too,
okay.
but we have to
Do
follow.
we have to do this?
We don't have to, I wanted to make you all aware of it. I probably shouldn't have said action unless Tony had an idea, but I don't think he does.
No, not at this time.
Is the board aware of it now?
We're very aware.
Thank you. Next.
So I think it's just, I mean, we're gonna go out and get that all removed. They're very nice to talk with. Two different groups. Do we have Russell Farm on here? Pardon?
I'm talking to myself. Go ahead.
Son, you got money in the bank. So we have Russell Farm, I don't have on there, but that's where it's gonna be mostly talking about. We did a phase 1B where they went around and dug the site and they did find a couple locations that were hot for historic. So we're gonna have to look at those. And then we also have to reach out to somebody that's more involved with the housing architecture because it's some type of Gothic something. And he's coming to look and we had some conversations with them as well. But it's just another small step. I think we can get around it all, but I just want everybody to be aware of what's going on.
So we're doing this due diligence because it's identified from SHPO, the phase 1B and et cetera. So it's
Phase 1A
determined-
actually identified everything.
phase 1A did. So it's determining how we basically demolish the property, if I
Well-
understand it.
Well, we don't want to demolish, we actually want to reclaim it. We want to bring in Barnwood Builders, for a lack of a better group.
So they can remove,
The
The
post
historic-
and all of that, yeah.
okay. So it's putting that plan together.
Yes.
Basically, okay.
If they're coming, I wanna know, cause I don't think that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a note, John Stevens likes Barnwood Builders. Put that in the minutes too.
Okay, thanks, John, for the information. Item 12, Calucci Trucking, a nice Irish trucking company.
In your agendas or in your package, you'll see a map of where that property is. If you go into the new Skylar, or the Skylar Park, the front part of it, where Diamond Drive and Driving Road and Diamond Drive meet, we drew out 5 acres. And they're very interested in putting their trucking company in there. And they submitted already a deposit and a purchase sale agreement. So we're looking to vote on that, and we will be working with them on their application. But they're anxious. They've reached out to a couple of developers to help them build their structure. Their trucking company hauls, there'll be nothing at the facility in the trucks. It's just a storage facility for the trucks. He wants to also have a real nice, he's never had a nice office and a conference room and all of that, so he's looking to set it up there. But they do a lot of hauling on the thruway every day. They also have a facility in Rome and they've outgrown that, so. Their side, they have another business too that will be a part of this area here. They do a lot of blacktopping and marking of parking lots for Home Depots all over the Northeast.
I've had 2 or 3 calls on, character reference and that they're good people to work with.
He's based out of right now.
Right, well, yeah, he lives across from John Romano, actually, in Utica. But yeah, he's
Any comments, questions for John?
yeah,
Thanks for the comment, whether it's only $1,000 deposit. Going 10%.
yeah.
What we doing?
I thought we were sending them back something.
We were waiting tough to do this wetlands condition.
Okay. Well, that'll be down in the front. We think that's gonna be alleviated in our next call, but I still say we send back to them and change it to 10%. So we need to make a note of that we're gonna require a 10% deposit.
We had talked at one point, because it's in the front of the park. I don't have to try to work on this, just finding the restrictive covenants on it because it's storage to make sure that he's screened and. behavior with our tenants.
Yeah. Yep, he knows that too. We had several discussions on what he's gonna put there and how his structure will look. He actually has a local guy that he's really interested, that is building up his stone, and he wants it to look, he's worked hard and he wants it to look nice, and he'll let us see all of that as well.
So the only change that would be made with the 10%. On the original. Okay, need a motion, well, no, wait for Kate, oh, I'm sorry, answer now, I'm sorry, motion by Ann, second by Mike. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Any opposed, nay, carried. We're halfway through, folks. Item 13, Village of Dowdville, the BOA is, we discussed, John,
Yeah, what is a vote, Jim?
the Brownfield Opportunity Assessment.
There you go. Very good. You've been paying attention. So we have a brownfield. We were successful with the Village of Dolgeville for a brownfield opportunity assessment grant. What the, God bless you, what the assessment grant does bring in is the opportunity, if it is approved through the Department of State, an additional 5% sale prop tax credit, 5% tax credit. So we're working closely with them. We will be going to Dolgeville when, Victoria?
August 11th, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. We're gonna meet with, what's the name of the firm we hired?
Bergman.
Bergman. So we're gonna meet with Bergman, the mayor of Dolgeville, a bunch of other people who are on that. So it's 9 a.m. in Dolgeville. If any of the board is interested in attending as well, please let us know. And then we'll walk the Main Street area where we have done the BOAS, where the site map is. And it's really our kickoff for the whole program. After we do the first meeting, we'll definitely have some input meetings and community meetings after. But we wanted to make you aware of where we are with that. That was a $140,000 grant. And Bergman, the head of Bergman, we're working with, she used to work for the Department of State. We felt it was a good fit. We had about 7 replies, interviewed 2 and got it down to them. So, and we're moving ahead with Bergman as our consultant on the project.
Approximately what part of Main Street, Dolgeville?
Pretty
Would
much
that
all the way to the
encompass?
bridge, all the way back up.
Okay,
Gonna encompass the school too, the old school area.
Yeah.
That the side of Main Street on the water. We're working with Jeff Grace with his facility too, the old mill. So,
the new owners, is
pardon?
that the new owner?
Yeah, Jeff Grace,
Or- Okay,
Dr. Grace from Bassett, yeah. So they're, and he's eager to have us in. So he's trying to bring that generator back up and do a lot of things there as well. So we're hoping this helps out that, and this also covers Fulton County, and we feel as though that was one of the reasons we want it, because we're right across the water too in that certain area there as well. And we know there's some issues over there too, because they did some actual tanning on the other side too, and
Yeah.
there's some other buildings that came down and some parking area, so.
thanks.
Need a motion to?
No motion.
Motion.
This discussion.
Discussion. All right, item 15, Skyler Business Park, we had a meeting.
Don't skip 14 there, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry, EPA, grant.
Too fast.
Go ahead, Jen.
Okay, so we are looking to apply, which we talked about a little bit, an EPA grant. And we're planning on partnering not only with the IDA, but the Village of Ilion and Dolgeville. We originally looked at a couple other communities, including the county, but we feel as though with the demographics in both of those, that would be best suited for us to achieve that grant. We're applying for $600,000 to do phase 1 and phase 2 is some other opportunities as well with the grant, but this will encompass the entire county. We're just using the other 2, not using, but we're asking them to support it as well. So what we need to do is make a motion that, or to have a resolution that the IDA is in support of moving ahead with the EPA grant. And working as with an MOU with villages of Dolgeville. And both of them are on board already.
In a nutshell. Any comments? Questions?
Everyone knows how successful we were with our first 200,000 EPA grant, so we anticipate the same thing here.
Entertain a motion. And second, Mike? Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Thank you. Carried. All right, item 15 now, Skyler Business Park, meeting with DOT and town officials, both planning. Board members, well, John, you want to give us a breakdown of what's going on in Skyler in
Sure.
that meeting?
The DOT meeting, we were very excited to have Assemblyman Smollett and Senator Oberacker there as well, including officials from the town, the IDA and the county. Mr. Wallace attended as well. It was great that everybody was there. 2 representatives from DOT came. We also had our Delta people. One of our Delta engineers is the former director of DOT region down in Binghamton. So it was interesting to see the different takes on what are going on in the area. when we went through the list of about 7 questions that were presented to us for the growth in the park, we really narrowed it down to just one question on what they had. We didn't feel as though it was a bad thing necessarily, but it's a thing that we always need to keep communications open. So what we're doing is working with Delta. Within the next week, we'll have an answer to DOT and ask them to respond to some of the questions we have. Like, we have no crystal ball and we cannot determine the exact traffic load that's going to be in the new park. I can't tell you if the next property will have 1,000 cars or 50 cars. And it's kind of unreasonable to be asked some of those questions, but we are working with them. So it was a positive meeting at the outcome. We were very excited that they sat down and how quickly they sat down too. They didn't kick the can. They were eager to sit down and have a meeting with us.
John, is this a new thing where they're asking for a car count? Yeah, so it's something new.
It's different. It's different. Yeah, we're trying to get our finger on everything, and I think I'll have more to let everybody know after our emails back and forth or our next conversation.
I think that we're safe in it. You know, they mentioned 1,900 cars an hour on Route 5, so that comes out to be
That's a lot of cars.
43,000 cars a day. So I think whatever we put in there,
We're gonna have to back up and drive over that marker thing for a couple hours to get those numbers.
unless it's a car manufacturing plant, there's, I think they'll easily handle
We always
whatever we
talked
put in.
about the amount of lower than Nano and that would
Yeah.
carry pickup.
I'm not worried. I just, the formality. we have to go through. Okay.
And we want to do another study on that road anyways. We have some opportunities, but there's a certain amount of truck or vehicle traffic that they want. So if we get the study to the right number, I think that'll help out with bringing in another potential for that client. We're moving ahead with everything. I don't know if you follow us on Facebook or on LinkedIn, but you'll see some of the pictures of Pepsi. You get a chance, go in the park, Pepsi's on fire. No pun definitely a pun intended. They're growing. That building is up. There's, they got a lot of steel in the air. Things are exciting there. Fountainhead has started clearing the way. What they're doing, we know they're only building 200,000 square feet today, but tomorrow they could add on to that. So they're preparing their site for 400,000 square feet right now. As we mentioned about Colucci Trucking in the front, we also have about 3 acres behind that. When you take the corner around across the street from Schuylerwood Pilot, we have someone very interested in that as well. Have several other opportunities in the back park. There's roughly 80 acres left, 75, 80, and we're working to make something happen there soon. So things are moving ahead nicely over in the park. What we have seen is that with the cost of everything, the amount of money that we put aside for the pilot, for the PIF, is going down quite fast. There's a good chance we're going to have to reach out to the county again and ask for some additional support there. But we're working with grants for National Grid for the power, the electric and gas. The water line, we're close, so that's not as bad. If we get another development that wants a large part of the other acreage that's left, probably can tie into the water line that runs to the thruway. So there's a lot of different things that we're doing, and I'm going to put together another proposal to the county. But remember that the PIF is paid back by the pilot payments. So the money is from the companies that are building in there will go back to the county to pay off that debt. We have to date, we've paid down to the county roughly almost, about $175,000 of what we owe for the property. So that's really good in such a quick period of time. After we close with Nudadec, another big chunk of that will come off to pay back for the property. So we're excited to see that happen. And then everything else that we have just moving ahead with site improvements. The road's complete except for Blacktop. Everybody's happy with that road. They're bringing in a lot of trucks. Jim and myself had a meeting in Stacy last week with the town. We'll be going out to bid, not to put the finished blacktop on. What are we putting on? What's the other stuff? Top binder. We'll be doing that and for the fall so they can plow and then look towards next year to put the blacktop on. But it's pretty neat. I mean, from where it was to what it is now, we're moving ahead with that. Anybody have any questions on Skyland?
Right. 16, you probably saw the emails flying by yesterday and day before, or on Friday, food processing study. Discussion?
Sure. So we went out to bid for an RFP for the food processing study. We've only really had communications with one potential, right, Victoria? So, but we're hoping to see if we can get a few additional ones. There are some set aside requirements, and we are working with the county, different things. This is new to the state as well because it's food processing. They've only ever done studies for roads and sewer and water. So this is different. So they're asking for some unique insurances and things that really don't apply to this. So there's been some back and forth, but we're ready to get our bids in August, right? 6th, is it? You recall? Yeah, so August 6th, we'll have in our RFPs and make a decision shortly after that. So we're excited. And then CADE, which is a group out of Oneonta, just came out with something they're working on, food study 2050. And they're interested in what we're doing. We're going back and forth a little bit. Mr. Wallace sent that out to everybody the other day, and we're working with them to see where we could best fit with that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Item 17 is our housing policy. We talked to, we've actually gone on town web, and there's a project up there that we may have to use this in. John, you want to go over the?
Well, what we asked Mr. Halleck to do was to review our housing policy. It's currently based on a point system, and it's flows, but it's a little difficult, and I think we could make it easier. I think we could open it up to some more people. I attended an EDGE meeting 2 months ago, I think it was, or a month and a half ago, and I got Mr. Halleck that information as well. I don't know if you're prepared to talk about anything with the housing today, or how.
Generally speaking,
Yeah.
there's a buzzword that I'm gonna start using.
Okay,
It'll be our workforce housing.
okay,
We're gonna do the policy that's in place mimics a lot of other IDAs in terms of retrofitting. But the state's identified we have a severe housing shortage. So I've reached out, I've looked at some of the other counties, Tompkins being one of them. And it's a workforce incentive housing policy that we could add to our existing, that we identify a housing need for job creation. We can create our own requirements, which could be pretty wide open.
okay, good. Because we are looking to support a couple of housing projects, within the Frankfurt area, one in the town of Webb, and maybe something even in Herkimer soon. So there are some opportunities there, and we don't want to miss those. And, all these other communities seem to make it work for what type of housing? Workforce housing. So I think it's important that we maintain that too. So we'll probably be, I would say within before our next meeting, we should have something in writing, Tony.
I gotta be able to toss something there.
Okay, great. But it is important that we work with all of these different communities in order to get these housing in place, because we're seeing what's going on with everybody. Not everybody wants to live in a loft on Genesee Street, and not everybody wants to live out in the country of East Herkimer. So, I mean, it's. But that's, well, that's it. Yeah. Not everybody wants a septic system, but anyway, so we're excited about that too. So just to give everybody an update on that.
Okay, Tony will toss that together.
Toss
Set.
that, yeah.
They have to toss things together. Okay. Item 18, the IDA website. You've noticed our website's a little more active lately, and Jerry Pritchard is in charge of that. Jerry, want to give us an update of what's going on there?
Yeah, we've been working with Rocket Creek. They helped develop the website. Two of the representatives came in. We met right here in this conference room, and they kind of gave us the lowdown on how we can update the website ourselves more efficiently. Previously, with our other website, we would have to go out to the website developer for any major changes, and now for things like images on the website, news updates, documents, it's all on us. So it's nice to keep people updated. That's the first thing people see when they look up Herkimer County IDA. It's going to be our homepage, our website. We want that to be relevant. We want it to be fresh. We want it to look nice, look modern, and attract people in here. And I'm trying to get these pictures. There we go. I have some pictures, images that Rocket uploaded themselves when they developed the website, and we just wanted to change them. So I have some ideas here for you.
tubes have to warm up.
Yeah. That's all right, I have to warm up every day too.
Still working.
So the first picture you see when you load up, it comes across as a slideshow right on the homepage. It's a nice picture of the Frankfurt Park. You got Tractor Supply, ADK, all there, as well as the little on-ramp to New York State 5S. One of the pictures that doesn't work too well because it's maybe a little older of a picture, photo 2. So instead of that, we were thinking, I made I've jotted some ideas down, the JBF stainless steel project, and also nice picture of Feldmeyer. That's kind of on topic for today. I didn't really plan it like that, but it's just businesses we work with. They would just, show our involvement.
Don't take credit for planting it that way. It makes you look good.
Thank you. Third photo, Dufold. We've done a lot of great work with the Dufold project. We have a lot of great images, the video, famous video of the Dufold that we've used as some of our presentations. So it's just a nice catalyst ground field for us to present and show that not only are we building up new structures and new businesses, but restoring ones that maybe have a negative outlook in the community. And website photo 4, this is just a nice photo, Little Falls that we have, just to show off some of our community. Not only are we developing businesses, but we want to see the communities grow and prosper. So
The only thing about that, it looks like it's a drought.
it almost, yeah.
I don't know if that's a good photo.
You can try and bring. a
I'd
boat down
rather
there,
see
but
a
I don't
flood.
know.
I would rather see normal
Yeah.
water.
You see the little
I
red
would rather
building
see
in the corner
normal,
there?
not a
Yeah.
flood.
I used to
Oh,
live
yeah,
there
or
when
not a
it was a fire.
drought. I find
Oh,
that
yeah.
funny
Yeah,
enough.
it's called the establishment. It was great
I like that.
back in the 1970s.
We got another photo here, tractor. Looks great on the website, full capacity, they have all the trailers there. Beautiful backdrop. And yeah, some of the other businesses as well in that park. It's just our cornerstone project, so love to show that off. And here is another one. This is Scour Business Park. I would love to have updated photos. Those will be coming obviously when we expand. And I can only imagine the view you're gonna have of that business park once everything in the back is developed. Yeah, Pepsi in there.
Jerry, are you working with a drone person?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We have in the past, so we're just probably have to reach out again. I've always wanted to fly a drone, but now, I don't know, you need a license and all that, so.
Wait a second, I got one quick question. Where the
Yeah.
tractor trailers are parked on the road
Where?
between Wilcourt and
Diamond
the
Drive.
wood pellet? They do that quite often. Is that gonna be a problem when tractor trailers come in and out?
That won't happen any longer.
Because I noticed if you go up that way, sometimes there are tractor trailers parked.
Yeah,
I
because,
think they rectified that. Well, I don't see that anymore. I think the town addressed that.
but the other thing is there was no real traffic, so there wasn't an
Right.
issue. So now
But there will be.
Yeah, well, then we'll make sure that they're not.
All right, and then this is just a nice stock image. I was, kind of hoping we could get maybe an image of one of our solar projects, promote that. know there's
I
some
think
things
what would
there.
make that picture better is solar with some windmills in the background.
Yeah, definitely. Because we do both, so you just want to show that we're involved in renewable energy and open to those kinds of projects. And the last photo was a stock image or an image we have from Old Forge. It doesn't fit very well with the formatting on the website. It kind of stretches it out, makes it look blurry. So I had some other ideas also to use a photo from the groundbreaking ceremony. That kind of fits our mantra, or a different picture of Old Forge, which we actually have up on social media as well. That kind of encapsulates more of the community.
What are those, the past board members' graves there on the left?
Killed an action.
Yeah, and the only other thing I see, Jared, everything looks fallish to me. I don't mind fall. I know my wife
Yeah.
loves that season, but I think we need some summer, some other stuff in there too.
And I'll just show you quickly how the slideshow part of it works. They just scroll across, they're up there for a few seconds or so, and as you can see, some of the.
That's
formatting of
West
those
Frankfurt
photos-
Industrial Park.
Some of those photos do not fit the formatting as well.
Anybody notice the
Blurry.
face in that one window?
But yeah, so Victoria and I have been hard at work trying to get a hold of this website developing software. She's been hard at work uploading documents and keeping everything up to date, trying to catch up from where we left off with
So you'll periodically just change and modify as projects happen. And
Yeah, we
you
have-
can do that now in-house.
Yeah, we have an admin account, all four of us do, as well as Terry Raffenberg, just in case he needs to sign on for any more technical things. Yeah, we're able to sign on, create news posts, and anything else, upload any documents, meeting minutes, update the meeting schedule.
And you could link this into Facebook or
Yep.
Facebook.
We
We're
did.
we're doing a lot of sharing. I know I'm the administrator of the county, so anything I see on the IDA, I share. I hope you, I mean, I know some of the guys in the legislature share it too. So get the word out. We're
Yeah.
on it.
We really appreciate any shares on our posts on social media. Our page has been growing over the past few months, gaining a lot of followers and just a lot of engagement on the posts, which is just really great to see that people want to be involved.
A couple other things, we're ADA compliant now too, which is very important with websites. And we also have a thing in place so we don't get those nasty emails either.
So John doesn't get this.
What's it called?
Recaptcha.
Recaptcha.
You have to
So,
Say you're not a robot.
yeah, you have to do circus tricks in order to get on our site. So we didn't want that any longer. You mostly have a website for all of the information we have to have on there. You know, that's something as an IDA, and this will be easy to add a page when we do the LDC as well. So it'll make it real easy for all of that to happen. So we opened it up this way. Quad Simia, who we had in the past, charged us for everything. Nickel and dime constantly for any changes, questions. So much better off. We host our own email now too. We don't go through them, so we're charged. We have that as well. What do we use for that? Rackspace. So that's easy for them to get it through too as well. As you can see, I'm an IT guy and I get all those names.
Too much camera and some imagination, you could whip up anything.
Oh, he just downgraded you, Jerry, for what you did. Did you hear him?
No, I mean. Just saying, we have,
Yeah, I don't know. That's not what it
all
said.
right, moving along, move on, thanks, Chair.
Good job, Chair.
And Wilcor 20, authorizing resolution.
It was handed
That
out
was
as at the
this
bottom of
morning.
your packet. Slid in.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Yes.
Approval.
So you.
I need a motion to accept Wilcor's. Anyone? Someone? Okay, Ricky, thank you. Second, by Mike Wernzak. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Carried. 21, Rem Arms. John,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, people. I contact them all the time. What's our drop dead date?
This month, I don't know, we haven't really given them a get up.
Well, I'm worried about tax savings, abatement, you know. If they're buying anything or doing any upgrades, retrofitted, they don't have an ST60, so their contract, they're paying full sales tax. We can't go back. We've told them that. Their attorney who we're dealing with understands all that. I met with the Village of Ilion last night and informed them too that we don't have anything from them. We've reached out how many times? I don't know.
At least 3 conference
Well,
calls.
that, and then when we have our morning meetings, usually, every couple of days, I'll just try to give them a call or a text. So, I don't know, maybe a letter from you to him saying, what would the board think by the end of, if we don't hear by middle of August, we probably can't move ahead with the project? Do we want to say that?
I prefer not to.
No, I don't either.
do we, and I hate to do this, but do you go over their head?
You're basically dealing with the lawyer or somebody in
He's-
the plant.
He's like, well, not the plant, they don't have anything to do with it. But there's 2 owners and then this guy's like, is equal to the CEO. I mean, he's there, he's the
Do
one.
we, like I said, to Mike's point, do we go over his head of sorts and just call Richmond and say, hey, do you realize?
But we were
deadline's
told
coming?
Richmond is not the money guy now.
Well, then go to the other Scott and go to him and say, you realize the time frame here is crucial, or do you
Right, I'll give him a call.
just,
Try.
I mean, we're doing, this way, we're doing everything.
Right. Make them aware of it, so everybody's aware.
They're still hiring.
I-
Things are moving ahead over there. We hear good things. I know local, Precision Matic, CTM, a couple other companies locally are getting business, getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's all excited about what's going on. You know, there was that bill passed by the governor, but Rem Arms only sells to certified FFL dealers, you know, or distributors. So they're not selling to an end user. They're only selling to a vetted federal firearms company by the feds. So we're hoping that that holds up, and, you know, usually state law doesn't override federal law overrides state. So, you know, what they did was wrong in the state law. We can only hope that things change.
All right, so John will reach out and we'll make our last ditch effort.
Where are they with the equipment purchases, Chad, you know?
They have nothing new. They brought things up from Huntsville, but they were supposed to do some other retrofitting in the facility. There, you know, our last conversation was, it's not about a new building right now. It's about getting everything going. So, and I know that they did start. I know it was one rifle line, but I don't know if that was a couple weeks ago. So they could be up to more rifles right now. Definitely the shotguns.
You said drop that date as when?
I did not say one word. Tony said he'd rather not.
Jeff, I know you said you've called. Has there been any certified correspondence sent?
No, a couple of emails but I haven't done that yet too, because
You
You
know,
know-
it just probably wouldn't be a bad idea. That way, in the future, if there's ever any question, we can produce a letter, say, listen, we did try multiple calls, certified, you know, so at least you have certified correspondence, I think.
I was gonna
Just a-
wait a little
just a
bit
recommendation.
longer because I don't wanna, we want them to stay. We want them to feel welcome. I mean, I can't call, I try a lot. You know,
Well,
and
yeah.
Richmond was better at getting back to us, but like he said, he's not the guy to do this now, so.
Right. And calls, I think, are good. It's just, it's nice to be able to
Sure.
give them certified correspondence, especially if there's any sort of dates involved.
Yep.
It's just fine.
That's why I think Tony was reluctant to say a date, but I think if we, next meeting, if we put a date down, I just wonder when it affects school taxes and that for them and.
Well, March 31.
Oh.
Is the critical date. Taxable status.
Okay, so we have a while then.
Okay, so, item 22, new deck, AKA Fountainhead. We have,
I like that.
thanks. We have, our
I just wrote it down.
thanks. Application for financial assistance, the inducement resolution, and the set of public hearing on this. So, that's before you, pages 63 to 71. with everything. So any comments, questions on any of those applications?
Just so you know, the dollar amount changed because construction costs changed and everything else. And because it was over 200,000, right, Tony?
The threshold's 100,000. They're actually, this is additional $216,000 in sales tax.
So that's why we need to set a public hearing.
Okay, let's start with the revised application for financial assistance. Any motion? Brown, second by Ann, correctly. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Carried. Inducement resolution. Need a motion? Mike Bernzak, second. Ann, correctly again. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. Setting a public hearing to be announced. Need a motion? Kate, second by Ann. Any discussion?
That will be held in the town of Schuyler, and that date will come out shortly as well for everybody.
Convention center, I believe.
The new convention center. We'll hold it in the parking lot.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Carried. All right. Item 23 is the 5S South Frankfurt Business Park. The promissory note was forgiven by the county. Discussion, John?
It was unanimous by the county. It was fantastic that when the vote came, that they support what we're doing there. And I can't stress it enough, how the media looks at all of that. The media sees, the developers go take a look and they see how well we're working with the communities. And this was a great thing that the county did to help support the IDA. So the legislators that are here, I thank you for that very much.
Thanks, guys. Item 24, solar application cost.
Yeah, is it okay?
You have my permission.
Thanks. So we're very concerned over the amount of solar projects that we see come in, the amount of paperwork that the IDA office does and our attorney does. And to get to the point of getting any type of financial support for those from the developers just isn't working. We've been working on some for well over a year, and we have communications with them. And finally, one of them, a couple of weeks ago, Tony and myself were talking and we said, we got to charge them something, and they were okay with that. Our contract does call, our application does call to receive half that inducement. But they've all questioned that because half of one of these projects is quite sizable, and if it doesn't make it through some of the last steps, it's not gonna happen. I really think that we need to look at this to say, look, in order to move forward, you're gonna need to pay X amount to the IDA and X amount to our attorney. Because I don't think, I worry that we're not gonna get covered for it. All of the Sunny's projects that we're working on today are to the next, really the final step before they start construction. Whether we see it this year or not, I don't know. There's several other ones. I'd have to say we're probably working on 8 or 9, maybe 10 solar projects, which I think is a huge amount. But when you look at the size of our county and where they're located and the different sizes of the project, we still have that very large one in Columbia that has not gone away. Now there's one that's supposedly with us in Warren and covering over to that county to the south of us, which I don't know if that'll ever go through because they're anti that, but I think that's a huge project where they'll build their own substation and tie in. But how much work do we want to put on all of this? You know, we're doing so many other things. Do we want to invest without getting some non-refundable funding out of it? And I know it's a little out of our norm, but Tony, do you agree with that?
I have to just use an example of what I'm going through over in Kirkland. We turned around and we amended our law requiring an escrow deposit. Money for my fees, town fees, engineering fees to review. And, you know, if the project doesn't go through, say la vie, but you gotta cover our costs, so we're not out of pocket. So I think it's something, because I have to agree with John, the solar, it's taken up a small room in my office and the files just aren't closing.
You know, and we get calls and they're paying the attorneys for the solar, for the towns right now. So they've paid out money to these different firms that were hired by the towns. So if they're getting paid, I really believe we need something out of this too. So would it be okay that maybe the next meeting, we have some documentation, we'll send it out ahead of time and then but I would like to make it even, I don't know if this is legal or not, Tony, can we make it retro or send to these current ones? This is our new rule and you gotta oblige.
I don't think we should retro it.
No?
Going forward, but here's the thing, I mean, those projects, like in terms of our own resolution, if they don't move forward within a year under our.
That's true.
Agreement, they've sunsetted, so we call the shot at that point.
Okay.
So we can then go back and ask.
But I don't want to call it just solar. I'd like to call it alternative energy too, in case we're doing any additional hydro, any wind, and any battery cell stuff, because I think that's coming too. I think more wind's definitely coming, and I think fuel cells coming too.
Do other counties, I mean, Oneida County, I mean, do you think solar companies shop around to find out what county they can get the best?
I think they fight for the land. I think they don't really, and land and the way they can get into the infrastructure.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll never see 30 solar projects in the same spot because the infrastructure, you see it out west because their infrastructure is new. Ours is old.
Right.
They can't be supported by it. So, and that's why I think we'll see some cells coming into place too, those lithium ion, big fuel cells that'll store the power.
So we'll look forward to that next meeting.
Just an item. I understand, John, what you mean. Time is money, and if it's taking up the resources of the IDA, I can understand that fee. To Tony's point, with the items that we have ongoing, it's really hard to ask for that fee or require it. But it can be a discussion, simply said, as requested as a good faith gesture too. Doesn't have to be required, but you can say, listen, this is just something that we are looking to implement. We're not requiring it, but maybe as a good faith gesture, they just may be absolutely fine with it. You can't, it can't hurt to ask.
No. Good point.
All right, come to the end of the regular agenda. We have some elected officials in the room, and are there any senators, assembly? Shelley Miller, are you on? Still on?
Did you mute them all or no?
Any other assembly person or senator on the phone? Okay.
District 17 and
Mark, who? Any legislators willing to speak?
What the hell was that? They're always wanting to
I
speak.
know. Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Couple updates. Bill McDonald, would you like to speak?
Yes, well, thank you. This week, the college is pleased to be supporting Herkimer County in an employee roundtable hosted at the college around a coding initiative. It's going to be branded Herkimer Can Code. Eventually, hats off to the county. It's been a tremendous commitment of time and effort to get us to this point. Coalition consists of Herkimer County Employment and Training, the county itself, Herkimer County Community College, Community Foundation, as well as Albany Can Code. And again, our first step is this Wednesday at 3 o'clock. We've set out invitations for a roundtable to get critical feedback from employers. We hear that there's a need. We want to make sure that we customize this opportunity to make sure that we meet the employer's needs. And we're going to target, although not exclusively, youth 18 to 24 who are either not in college or not employed. And we think that this is a great project to, serve not only our community, but our employers and a population that needs it. So we're very excited about it. More details to come. You will hear more hopefully, but Wednesday's the first step. So very grateful for everyone and their support. The colleges, again, we're just providing support to the county in this role. I don't want to pretend like this is a college initiative at all, but we're grateful to just, support in any way that we can. So thank you to the county and the officials here for this. It's gonna be great.
This is a new, well, not new, but it's the thing. The steam and that we hear about is sort of like, I'm not gonna say fizzling out, but this is the new wave that everybody's concentrating on. So, and I'm glad the county's and the IDA and the college is at the forefront of it, leading the way. So,
yeah, and then just one last thing, we're hoping that this is the first step. This could be very intense, very targeted training. And then once these employees hit the field, maybe they'll want some more to continue with their education. And that's where the college is going to come in and try to get them into the human resources program and on that education ladder. So it's a win-win, quite frankly, for everyone involved. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about that today.
Coding is involved with everything from banking, with artificial intelligence, even with the new quantum development that we're doing at Griffiths and what we hope to bring down here as well, cybersecurity, gaming, all of these things that right now, and the thing with coding, we met with people from Syracuse too. So they're kind of coming from Albany to Syracuse. So we're kind of filling that gap in between two. We're excited about that. But, there's so many companies that say Amazon needs you to code for this project. They'll work for Amazon here. They'll work for Pepsi. They might work for 3 or 4 companies doing this coding from home. And what we've seen now with remote working, and doing a lot of these other things, not necessarily in an office, this is an excellent fit. And we think we're in the forefront. I don't want to say we're beating the other people in our region, but we are. So it's a good thing. I think
Yep. Great.
Just one thing, thanks for your time. As far as number 19 on your agenda today, the HMM Quackenbush, I'd like to thank you in regards to the Herkimer 9. I know they probably very much appreciate the result of today, and I wish the best on their venture. And it was a big stumbling block for them, and I'd like to see them wish them the best, and I'm sure they thank you very much.
It's the catalyst, so.
And hopefully it turns into some kind of economic development.
Wish them well. Balls in their court.
Thank you very much,
Parts are fun.
everyone.
We have a few more things under updates there, John. You want to go?
Sure. The one thing I didn't bring up too is for Fountainhead Group, they are going to require a fire suppression and water holding tank. We bought the one for Tractor Supply. I'd like to present some more data that we might have a discussion prior to our next meeting on that. I'm getting a couple more things. But that water tank will also help filter and cycle the water through the park. So it's needed not only for them, but for the whole park too. So we're going to probably look to support that for them. It's around $137,000. It's not as much as what we did for Tractor, but the park is a lot different in size. And I think this will be something to support it, but I'll get people out on that. Let's not forget on August 12th, we have our chamber after hours. The IDA was awarded a Small Business of the Year. It's over at MOVAC. We'd love to see everybody there. That would be it. That'll be a great day. Central New York Business Journal, I gave ones out to everybody. So this is what everybody should have got. I want to get to a copy. And there's some great articles, some on Herkimer County. I'm a little mad Steve DeMayo's picture's larger than mine, but I can look at that. There's some good stuff in there.
make more money than him.
I truly do not, but thank you for that comment, John. That'll be brought up in our next meeting.
Your head's bigger.
Well, that is true, and I should have had a bigger picture. I'm looking to attend a Brownfield 2020 in Oklahoma City. That has to do, oh, I thought you did something. So that has to do with what we've done with the EPA, additional grants. I plan on presenting the dual fold property there as well. So just to let everybody know that, we are having
The garden spot of the world.
I don't even know how you get there. I don't even want, it's in December.
Get on a tour.
Can't they have it in Hawaii? What do they have it in Oklahoma City for? There must be a lot of brownfields there. Brownfield conference we're having as a region, October 6th and 7th. That'll be in Amsterdam or in Gloversville. We're excited about that. Bill talked about CAN code, very important. CAN code, yeah, it is. IDA conference that I've sent out to the board members, that is September 28th, 29th, and 30th. The 28th evening is the reception at the Hall of Fame. We have not received an agenda yet, but let me know if anybody's interested in going to any of that day or those couple of days. There's some very good usually programs there, and it's important that we do. But I think it's good for us to go in a little bit of a group for that night. I mean, it's in our backyard, and it would be really good to get to the Hall of Fame and meet a lot of other IDAs and see what's going on and talk to them about that. We do need to go to executive session over some property issues, and I think that's it.
I'll ask the legislators to stay if they want for a little while in the executive session if they want. So with that motion entertain executive session. Toronto, second by Kate. All in favor, aye? Any opposed?
I do not.
Good to see you, Bill.
Great seeing everybody. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for doing that.
Unless you want to stay.
I got to leave.
Okay. Yeah.